Gurave Gaurachandaya Radhika Dale Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadabhaktaya. Can you see me?
Yeah.
Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo Hare Ramo 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 Narayanam Namaskritam Naram Cheto Narottamam Devim Saraswati Vyasam Tato Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo 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 Hare Hare. So first of all, I give pranams to our Gurudev, Vishnupad Sri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayan Gosai Maharaj, our Rupanuga Guru Parampara, Sri Bhaktamadhusudan Sri Gosai Maharaj, all Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis, Dandavat pranams. So we're continuing towards the end of this Brhad Bhagavatamrita. Maybe you can remember how Krishna, remembering the Brijbasis and the words of Uddhav, that both Krishna and Balaram fell unconscious, and Lord Brahma arranged Garuda to take them, along with Rohini, to a newly constructed Nava Vrindavan on the bank of the ocean between near Revat Parvat. There Baladev dressed Krishna in his Gopavesh, Natavar, and his coward boy Sarup, putting peacock feather on his head, some fruit in his hand. Baladev also adjusted his outfit to be like in the mood of Braj, and Rohini was there. All this we heard. So afterwards, when Krishna took fully absorbed in the mood of Braj, that time some queens like Kalindi, who had seen Braj Swarup, they could maintain their patience, but others like Satyabhama, Rukmini, what to speak of the other queens, became mad. Even the mother of Kamsa, who was older than even Damayanti, at 150 years old, even she became absorbed in lust. So they wanted to run to embrace Krishna, but Uddhav, Kalindi, a few others, they held them back, otherwise they would disturb the lila. So Krishna took the cows, actually our mortis, to the bank of the river to drink what he thought to be the Yamuna. There he heard the loud roaring of the waves upon the shore, and he saw the city of Dwaraka, and he became astonished. Who am I? Where am I? Again and again, like a mad person, he spoke. At that time, Sankarshan Baladev, knowing time, place, and circumstance, he spoke. O Bhagavan, remember you came here to protect Yudhisthira Maharaj and to destroy the demons like Salva and Dantavakra. That time Krishna came in his mood again as Yadunandan, Dwarkadish Krishna. So when Krishna saw his own outfit and he saw the outfit of Baladev, that time Baladev explained what happened, and Krishna smiled. Krishna became a little bit ashamed, but inside very happy. So Balaram arranged that he and Krishna and others were transported again to the inner section of Krishna's quarters in Dwaraka, and the queens were brought in a hidden way. At that time, all the other queens were hiding behind pillars, except Satyabhama had not come. Actually, from this you can understand how clever is Uddhav. Because, anyway, we will hear all this afterwards. So when Krishna noticed all other queens are here except for Satyabhama, what's going on? At that time, Padmavati, the mother of Kamsa, she spoke. No. Oh, impertinent Devaki. Oh, unlucky Rukmini. O poor-hearted Satyabhama, alas, O fallen queens led by Jambavati, can you not see, you cannot see these pastimes of Krishna, means in Braj. So give up your ego now and do intense austerities to become maid servants of the Abhiris. Abhiris means Gopika, of the gopis, no? Abhir, we sing in this when we do Paraka in the morning. Abhira Nagari. Abhira Nagari means cowherd women. Actually, the Bhagavatam describes Abhira as one of these 12 like very low tribes. Because materially birth in a cowherd family is considered very low. So Padmavati recommended the queens of Dwaraka to do austerity to become the dasis of Radhika. And this is also there in Bhagavatam. When all the queens of Dwaraka met with the Braja gopis and Krishna at the battlefield of Kurukshetra, that time when they saw the wealth of the prema of the gopis, especially Radhika, that time, the lesser queens, they prayed to take next birth as maidservants of Radhika. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explained the principal 8 queens of Krishna and Dwaraka like Rukmini, Satyabhama, Jambavati, Kalindi, Lakshmana, etc. They were satisfied because they got a lot of sangha with Krishna. But the lesser queens, they prayed to take birth to become dasis of Radhika, because those dasis have so much good fortune to serve directly the lotus feet of Radhika. And who is Radhika? She is the form of Krishna Prem. So Radhika dasa jadi hoy abhiman sigra mile tabe gokulakan. Someone may think, if I serve Radhika, then how will I get Krishna Prem? What will be my sambandha with Krishna? But Radhika is the very form itself of Krishna Prem. So serving Radhika, you will taste the topmost level of Krishna Prem. But those who give up the anugati of Radhika and try to associate with Krishna, they will go to Dwaraka or get some other position. No? Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, no? Si Radha Radha Sukh Krishna Raye Sukh Manate Janate Ami Sri Krishna Radhika Padachari Sri Krishna Sangame Abhituna Hitakari. Why never give up the feet of Radhika and try to go to Krishna? Why I know that Radharani's happiness, that is Krishna's happiness. Anyway, all these secret things known to the Brijbasis. Therefore, those who want Krishna's seva, those who want Krishna's name, form, qualities, and pastimes, they perform service to Radhika. And those who have the mood, I am the dasi of Radhika, I'm the servant of Radhika, very quickly, very easily, they get Krishna. So, of all people who are speaking these glories, that is the mother of Kamsa. So, that time hearing the words of Kamsa's mother, Padmavati, Mother Devaki, she spoke something. After all, she is the support and the shelter even of Krishna. So hearing the cruel words of Padmavati, then Devaki spoke something. Oh, foolish woman, what is astonishing in your words? I performed austerity with Vasudeva in my previous life to attain Krishna as my son. As a result, I got the highest of benedictions. And Krishna, who is the best of the giver of benedictions, agreed to become our son. In their last life, Devaki and Vasudeva, they worshipped Bhagavan for a long time. Therefore, Bhagavan appeared before them. I think for 60,000 years they stood on their hands with their feet in the air for 60,000 years. That time Bhagavan was very happy with their austerities. What do you want? Actually, they wanted a child. But when they saw the beauty of Krishna, they gave up desire for mundane child and they said, we want a child like you, we want a child like you, we want a child like you. 3 times. So So Krishna said, that's impossible. No one can have a child like me. So I will become your child. So 3 lives, that Krishna, Gaba and Sutapa took birth. That life they got Krishna as their son. Then they appeared as the mother of Kapila Rishi, Devahuti and Devahuti and Kadamba Rishi, and third with Vasudeva and Devaki. So, we prayed to have Bhagavan as our son. Therefore, Bhagavan came as our son, but we could not feel that we are the parents of Bhagavan. Big difference, right? Because they have Aishwarya, they have some awe and reverence. How Bhagavan could become my son? That's impossible. We saw it when he gave benediction with 4 hands and Sank Chakra Gadapadma. So Bhagavan came as their son, but they could not feel we are the parents of Bhagavan. Vatsalya Ras, devoid of Aishwarya, they could not get. But Devaki is saying, Yasoda and Nanda prayed to Brahma for the benediction of Vatsalya Prem. Now, a foolish person can say, well, Lord Brahma, he's not in Vatsalya Ras, how could he give something he doesn't have? Well, that's pretty stupid, isn't it? Because Lord Brahma is pure Vaishnava, he's Shakshad Hari. Anything he says, Krishna fulfill his words. So by the benediction of Brahma, then they took birth as those 2 devotees who were Sutapi and Krishna. They were, I forget their names in previous birth, they will be mentioned here. And those 2 souls entered into the body of the eternal associates of Krishna, that is Nanda Yasoda. And by the mercy of Nanda Yasoda, they tasted the feeling, Krishna is my son. Okay, we'll just look here. I forgot the names of those 2 devotees in the previous birth. Anyway, 10th Canto Bhagavatam mentions. So the difference is because they worship the Vaishnava, Vaishnava can always give something superior to what even Bhagavan can give. And one who does their sadhana, who does their bhakti under the guidance of Vaishnava will quickly achieve success in bhakti. So, this Devaki repeating all this. So, in our previous birth, we worship Bhagavan, we got Bhagavan as a son, but we could not get Vatsalya Prem. But Nanda Yasoda in previous birth, they worship Brahma for the benediction of Vatsalya Prem, they got. Therefore, Devaki continued, by the benediction of Lord Brahma, Nanda and Yasoda received Prema Bhakti, because Brahma is a great devotee of Bhagavan Sri Krishna. So by the influence of that Prema Bhakti, Nanda and Yasoda have become more and more glorious than the entire family. Actually, the Yadus and the dynasty of Nanda Maharaj, this is like 2 branches of one tree. There was one forefather of Nanda Baba. His name was Devamrish. He had 2 wives. One wife was cowherd girl, another wife was Kshatriya. So from the Kshatriya wife came the dynasty of the Yadus, and from the Gop wife came the dynasty of the cowherds. That's Nanda Baba's father, Pajanya, then Nanda Baba, then of course Sri Krishna. So Devaki said this is one family, but because of the benediction of Brahma, the Nanda Yasoda got the most glorious position in this family. So, Devaki continued. We tried to attain Krishna by many different types of sadhana, and by meditating him and performing different ways of controlling our mind. However, the gopis attained that same Krishna by their prem. Thus, the sadhana of the gopis is our topmost goal. Actually, gopis never perform sadhana, but language is fault what to do. No, so therefore, the queens of Dwaraka, Devaki, they understand the position of the gopis. The position of the Brijbasis is topmost, everybody knows. Uddhav knows, and Devaki knows, the queens of Dwaraka know. So Devaki continued. And Devaki saw this prema directly at Kurukshetra after so many years of separation. When Krishna saw Nanda Yasoda at that time, Krishna forget completely Devaki and Vasudev, and Yasoda took Krishna on her lap and began feeding her breast milk. That time Nanda Yasoda became like mad. When Devaki saw that, when Devaki could herself realize the topmost excellence of the prema of Nanda Yasoda. So Devaki continued. It is quite proper that Sri Krishna displays more love towards the gopis than to us, because we are the married wives of our Lord. No, that is Vasudeva. And we are always doing many, many different types of religious activities, fruitive acts, like producing sons and grandchildren. And our minds are engaged in family affairs. Also, we serve Krishna out of reverential respect. Okay, just check who is speaking. It should be Devaki. Ah, sorry. 2 pages were stuck together. No wonder it sounded a bit strange. I skipped 1, 2 pages. So, Rukmini continuing. Devaki continuing. Nanda and Yasoda raised Krishna. Therefore, they naturally saw all his childhood pastimes. No? But Devaki and Vasudeva could not see the Bal Lila, the childhood pastimes of Krishna. No? As soon as Krishna appeared from the womb of Devaki with a 4-hand form, that time Vasudeva spoke out of the influence of prema, but also with knowledge of Krishna's position. So his prayers are very wonderful. He prayed, "Oh Bhagavan, you are definitely the cause of all causes." No, when he saw the huge form of Vishnu, but Kamsa is after you, he will definitely try to kill you. Please hide yourself. So his prayers are a wonderful mix of Aishwarya and Madhurya. So therefore, the prayers of Vasudeva and Devaki, Krishna at that time gave up, for want of a better word. Of course, Krishna cannot give up his body, but Krishna, to please Vasudeva and Devaki by the influence of Yoga Maya, concealed the form of Vishnu and came in 2-handed baby form. That time Devaki gave breast milk to baby Krishna. Also feelings of vatsalya with that. And separation, because she knew, now I will lose my son. That time Vasudeva carried Krishna to Vrindavan, so Devaki and Vasudeva could not see all these childhood pastimes of Krishna. Rather, they were in the jail of Kamsa for 11 years being tortured. But on the other hand, Nanda Yasoda from childhood, they saw all these, thinking Krishna to be their own son. Therefore, all these samskars, like the cutting of the umbilical cord, the piercing of the ears, the nam dharan, giving of the name, samskar, this Krishna going Gopastami, going cow grazing for the first time. So all these samskars, everything, like Lokavat Leela, like human-like pastimes, Nanda and Yasoda were direct witness and participants in those pastimes. Therefore, their sentiment to Krishna is like a huge mountain. And Devaki and Vasudeva said, we also worship that prema of Nanda Yasoda. That time Rukmini spoke something also. And Sanatana Goswami says, all the love all devotees feel for Krishna will increase hearing these words. So Rukmini spoke these words. Oh, the gopis gave up all desires to achieve mundane pleasure in this world and the pleasures related to the next world. The gopis renounced all relatives as husbands and sons, and they served Krishna in a most confidential manner, overwhelmed by prema. And with them, Krishna performed astonishing leelas like Ras Leela. Rukmini is speaking all these things. Sometimes we think, oh, the other devotees don't know Braj Leela, but they know. Like even grandfather Bhishma, when he was speaking to Krishna, that time Krishna at Kurukshetra, he was covered by dust from the chariot. Some blood even was on Krishna. Guru Maharaj explained that was blood from other soldiers. Some soldier had his head cut off and the blood would spurt on Krishna. That was not Krishna's own blood. But anyway, Krishna covered by Yoga Maya's influence, the scratch of some weapons, some dust, some perspiration. That time, grandfather Bhishma Pitama, he said, Krishna, that time you look very attractive like in Ras Leela. Like Krishna may be scratched by some nails of some affectionate gopi, covered by dust from dancing in the Rasa Mandal and some perspiration that time. Grandfather Bhishma is devotee of Dasi Ras with so much Aishwarya, but he also sometimes touching that mood of Madhura, according to his qualification. This is called Unad Garbha Das. Dasi Ras, but some touching of Shringha Ras also. So, that time I remember asking Gurudev, oh, Gurudev, how grandfather Bhishma could know about Ras Leela? Then Gurudev said, even you know about Ras Leela, then why grandfather Bhishma cannot? So Rukmini knows all these things. How the gopis gave up everything for Krishna's satisfaction. Don't think the gopis go to meet with Krishna for their own pleasure. Ateva gopiga nahi kam ganda Krishna sukh lagimatra Krishna says sambandha. The gopis meet with Krishna only for Krishna's satisfaction. They do not have one drop of desire for their own bodily happiness. Also, the gopis have given up all pleasure, all desire for any enjoyment in this world, also for any enjoyment in the next world. Right? A chaste woman who serves her husband and does not divorce, she gets so much material security. And by this material security, next life she can go to heavenly planets. That's why it's considered very sinful for a woman to divorce her husband. Very sinful, very low class. So the gopis are not thinking Krishna is God. Therefore, the gopis are giving up their own husbands to serve Krishna. That means the gopis are thinking we will go to hell because we are serving Krishna, who is not our husband. So the gopis giving up all desire for happiness in this world, all desire for any hope of any happiness in the next world. And why they do it? Just for Krishna's satisfaction. Therefore, the gopis have given up everything. No? They've given up all hope of it, enjoyment in this world, in the next world. They've renounced relatives such as husbands and sons. They serve Krishna in the most intimate manner, as well as most astonishing pastimes like Ras Leela and other things. So only the gopis have samatha prema. Samatha, really they can give up everything for Krishna's satisfaction. So Rukmini, of course, Rukmini is the head, the principal queen of Dwaraka. So we should understand if Rukmini can think this, automatically all other queens, 16,108 queens of Dwaraka, are also included. So, Rukmini said, it is proper that Krishna gives so much more love to the gopis than to us, because we are married wives of our Lord and Master Krishna. Yes, this is not spoken by Devaki, this is spoken by Rukmini. That's why I look confused. Why? And we are always engaged in religious rites, this all karma, limbs of karma, how a wife should serve a husband. But the gopis, they are serving Krishna without this relationship of marriage. This is called parakya bhav. Of course, in this world, it is the most degraded thing for a woman to have a relationship with another man outside of marriage. So we should not think, oh, I will also imitate like Krishna. That is the most sinful thought. No. Therefore, no. Parikshit Maharaj, Sukadev Goswami gives warning in Bhagavatam, Manas apihi anishwara. Unless one is on the level of Krishna, the level of Ishvara, one should not imitate the activities of Krishna in mind. So we should hear this with some proper understanding that these old details are not of this world. So actually, these feelings for Krishna, these begin when all material feelings are finished. That time, this understanding of Krishna Lila can begin. So, Jiva Goswami describes, with marriage, a woman has many responsibilities. So a married woman will serve her husband. Why? Because husband gives children, husband gives money, husband gives food, husband gives clothes, husband gives ornaments. Also, if a wife does not serve her husband, she goes to hell. So fear of hell is also there. So many reasons why a married woman should serve her husband. Rukmini is speaking this indirectly. Actually, directly she's speaking. But the gopis are not married to Krishna, but then why they serve him? Guru Maharaj says, what food did Krishna give the gopis? What saris, what clothing, what... Nothing he gives. Actually, he's always taking from the gopis. No? But still gopis serve. Therefore, gopis' service to Krishna is free from any ulterior motive, any other cause, except for prema. That's why Rukmini can understand that it's so great. There's so much glorious. Also, when a woman's generally, if any brahmachari would marry, then Guru Maharaj would say, no, don't marry. Because now your full affection is for Guru and Vaishnavas. But if you marry, then you forget Guru Vaishnava, then wife becomes Guru and Vaishnava. Wife becomes the new Bhagavan, right? Then before you were giving 100% to Gurudev. Actually, how could you be giving 100% if you married? But still, just for argument's sake, still no say. That means now 50% now go probably 60 or 70 more, 80% probably goes to wife, and Gurudev gets 20%. Then wife has children, then wife forgets husband, and most of that affection goes to new baby. Is it true? Yes. Then second baby, third baby, fifth baby, 10th baby. Then all that prema becomes divided. So Rukmini had 10 sons and 1 daughter. That means divided prema. Of course, Rukmini also so much great, but still this is achintya. Therefore, the gopis' prema is called Samadharati, and the prema of the queens of Dwaraka is called Samanjasya. Samanjasya means like divided, balanced. So Rukmini, when she knows the glories of the gopis' prema, Rukmini has 10 sons and child and daughter, but the gopis have no children that would disturb their seva to Krishna. They do not want anything from Krishna. They do not want children even. The only reason a husband and wife, a woman marries is to have children. A woman marries who does not desire to have children. This is not natural. This is even unnatural. So, the gopis with Krishna, but their only desire is Krishna's satisfaction. They don't want anything from Krishna in return. Therefore, their prema is spotless. Therefore, Rukmini said, also we serve Krishna out of reverence, but the gopis serve out of kevala priti. Therefore, even Krishna saw some opulence. The gopis' relationship with Krishna is not disturbed by that. Aishwara Sitala Prem Nahi Mora Prita. Where there's knowledge of Krishna's opulence, then relationship with Krishna becomes shrunken. Therefore, Aishwarya Nadeki Kevala Sambandhaman. Even the gopis may see some opulence of Krishna. It does not affect their relationship. Krishna is my beloved. That opulence not disturb their Kevala Prem, their pure prema for Krishna. But the queens of Dwaraka are not like that. And we will hear later how. The Sanatana Goswami describes. Like the way the gopis abused to Krishna, would have heard that, could not even imagine anyone can speak about Krishna like that. No, because gopis know Krishna went to Mathura and had one lover there called Kubja, and how much the gopis abused Krishna for Kubja. And Krishna went to Dwaraka with 16,108 queens. That's why Krishna not came back to Braj. Imagine how much he would have to hear. So the queens of Dwaraka cannot even imagine this. How we can, they always address Krishna, Aryaputra, oh Vasudev Nandan, always with so much respect, oh Prabhu. So much respect they address Krishna. But the gopis, how they address Krishna? Blackfellow, debauchee, all these things they speak. But Krishna feels so much happy because they speak with so much prema. So Rukmini knows this, would have also directly experienced. So we serve our Lord, our Bhagavan, with awe and reverence. However, the gopis serve Krishna with pure heart, without any desire for piety or karma. These gopis have no other desire, right? Don't want to talk too many of these mundane things, no, but like having children, there's also one type of karma, one type of punya. For example, a woman gives a son, and that son does like nice security, everything, then parents get so much benefit. If parents have a girl and they can give that girl in marriage as a virgin, then the father goes directly to, the parents go directly to heavenly planets. If out of eagerness for pious activity, people desire children. That's why a child born, just nowadays people just like monkeys come together and have child. That child is called unwanted population. But actually real parents have child for either for karma, to make so much security and benefit for themselves, of course. And also, what to speak of bhakti. But the gopis have no desire for either fruitive activities or for karma. Anyway, these are little material things, but still, it's also, then we can understand the glories of the gopis. Everything they do for Krishna is only for his satisfaction, not for their own. So, it is there reasonable that Krishna's sentiments for the gopis must also be superior than Krishna's sentiment for us. Krishna promises in Gita, Jeta tam mam prapadante tam sateva bhajahame. I reciprocate according to your surrender. So definitely the gopis have surrendered more, than Krishna must reciprocate more with the gopis than the queens of Dwaraka. So Rukmini is admitting all this thing. And she just saw all this Krishna's mood, everything in Nava Vrindavan. So it's definitely as the gopis' mood is better than us, then it must be that Krishna's love for them, the gopis, is also superior than Krishna's love for us. This is natural. So this object, this love of the gopis is nothing to be envied. This love of the gopis is our worship of deity. This love of the gopis is worthy of glorification. This very sweet sentiment. Rukmini also one of the acharyas. Four Vaishnava Sampradayas. So Sri, that means Rukmini, Lakshmi. She is also the Guru Sampradaya. How nice instructions she is giving. She is not envious. Envious, what benefit in being envied? If someone's a better cooker than you and you're envious, what's the benefit? You lose out. You cannot eat, you cannot enjoy that. If someone's a better singer than you, become happy. If someone's a better cooker than you, become happy. If someone's a better speaker, better dresser, more learned than you, more devotion, better kirtan singer, by envy you only lose yourself. So envy has no place in bhakti. So if you glorify that, then you get those qualities come to you automatically. So Rukmini speaking, the love of the gopis is not an object of our envy. The love of the gopis is object of our glorification, our worship. Why? Because this mood so much pleased Krishna. And what pleased Krishna, that is also very dear to the devotee. The one who loves Radhika, who is the most dear, then how much pleased with them Krishna becomes. No words. No? Therefore Krishna sees devotees have more mood to serve Radhika than himself, that Krishna becomes very, very happy and satisfied by that feeling. Unfortunately, our mature mind, we're always like, in this world, there's so much envy and other things. That's why the first thing to give up in spiritual life is envy. Vyasadeva said, who can hear the Bhagavatam, Niyamatsadanam Satam, that devotee, that person whose heart has no envy, who gives up envy. Like, when we first come to the temple, we hear Krishna's the enjoyer. What do we think? How come he gets to enjoy? What about me? Nothing left. If Krishna is the enjoyer of everything, what's left for me? So some envy is there. So one who has envy think, why should I give happiness to Krishna? There's nothing left for me. Then they'll leave the temple, not come back. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, why the materialists leave the Bhagavatam class? Because they're in the back and they think, hey, there's nothing here for me. There's nothing here for my enjoyment, so they, out of envy, they leave. Therefore, this is in the stage of Bahirmukata. Actually, I was reading the other day in Jayadvadama. Two stages of hearing. One is in the stage of hearing, the stage of aversion to Krishna, Krishna Bahirmukata. And the other type of hearing is that when one is in this, when that aversion to Krishna has been given up. That is called Shraddha. There's so much difference between hearing in the stage of being opposed to Krishna and hearing in the stage of being anukul, favorable to Krishna. Anyway, these are all nice topics, Rukmini speaking. So give up envy. We are not envious of the gopis. Why? We know this mood gives so much pleasure to Krishna. Therefore, this mood is also dear to us. And by this, Krishna not become let down. Krishna becomes more glorious. We understand, oh, Krishna is so much controlled by his devotees. Then Krishna becomes more worshipful, more glorious. In this world, when you become controlled by someone, you feel shame and I don't know what you feel. Shame, aversion, distaste, fear, resentment. Like when we're small, controlled by parents, you feel pain. When you grow up and go to school, controlled by teachers, you feel more pain and suffering. Then controlled by boss, controlled by wife. Whole life we spent being controlled by others. And that gives so much fear, so much resentment. Why? Because these people are using us for their enjoyment. But bhakti is not like that. Devotee control Krishna for Krishna's happiness. So this gives so much pleasure to Krishna. So even Krishna feels so much joy to be controlled by Vaishnavas, then why we are not willing to surrender our lives to them and also become controlled by them? That is our foolishness. That is our foolishness. So, Rukmini spoke this beautiful glorification of the gopis. Why Satyabhama was not there? Satyabhama was a little jealous and she was in another place. So, understanding why Satyabhama was not there, Kamsa's mother spoke something, then Devaki spoke something, then Rukmini spoke. And all the other 16,106 queens, right? They also approved of the words of Rukmini. Yes, they said, very good. But Satyabhama, the daughter of Satyajit, she was unable to tolerate this glorification of the gopis, and she went off to her own manga. Probably every married man knows when wife is in angry mood, she also has some place she goes. So, manga, especially queens and high class women, they have some area, manga, the house of man. I have heard that place have no marble tiles, right? Just some dirt. So queens would go there like you hear in Ramlila. When Kai became angry, she wanted to control Dasarath Maharaj and squeeze 2 benedictions from him. Then she took off all the ornaments given by Dasarath Maharaj and threw. She put on some old grey dress. Some old dress she put on. And lying in the dust like this and weeping, she displayed symptoms of man. So of course Satyabhama is also queen. She also have some manga. That Radhika angry that time, she also come different places, no? Especially Radha Kunj, Seva Kunj, this her own place. And when she displayed that man against Krishna, that time even the dasis of Radhika, everyone, they also take the side of Radhika and support her. So this man gives so much taste to Krishna, so much happiness. Of course, in this world, when husband, wife goes against husband, husband suffers. No? But when the gopis do man to Krishna, or the queens of Dwaraka, of course there is no real man, but we will hear something. At times this also gives some extraordinary taste to Krishna. This also condensed prema, sneha, man, pranay. So, this man also very developed stage. So maybe tomorrow, day after tomorrow, we'll hear more. Everyone looking, where is Satyabhama? Satyabhama is not there. 16,107 queens are there, glorifying the gopis. But Satyabhama is not there. What's she doing? Hearing the words of Uddhav, the glories of the gopis and Radhika, she went there, the foolish daughter of Satyajit. So, just like we hear, Kamsa is so much foolish and demonic, then how will his mother be like that? So when the queens of Dwaraka want to insult Padmavati indirectly, then they say, "Oh, mother of Kamsa," like one insult. So Satyabhama, her father's name was Satyajit. Last class we also spoke a little bit, no? Satyajit was a devotee of the sun god. We spoke a little bit, mostly we spoke, but a little bit we'll speak again today. The sun god was very happy with Satyajit because Bhakta Vatsal, so he gave one special jewel, the Shamantaka. That Shamantaka, whoever wore that Shamantaka jewel within a radius of like so many miles, there would be no disease, no lamentation, no fear, rain would come automatically. That Shamantaka jewel would produce automatically like 20 or 30 pounds of gold every day. Wish I could borrow it for a few minutes anyway. So everyone wanted the Shamantaka jewel. So generally, if you have a good thing, it should be given to the Maharaj, right? The king, that is. So Krishna wanted Satyajit to give this Shamantaka jewel to Ugrasen. This is the rule, good thing you have should be given to the king. And king will use for the benefit of everyone, not for himself, of course. So Satyajit did not want to give because very nice jewel, very auspicious thing. So he thought Krishna is very lusty, he won my jewel. So he did not give to Krishna, he gave to his brother Prasena. Anyway, and the rest of the story we told last class. Prasena was killed by a lion, the lion was killed by Jambavan, and Jambavan took the jewel. So many people thought, oh, Krishna must have killed Prasena, Prasena not came back. You know, what is it? A plus B is C. Can't remember anyway what they say. So using material logic, Krishna wanted the jewel, Prasena has the jewel, Prasena is dead. Krishna must have killed Prasena. So actually Krishna not killed Prasena. So even Krishna have to be subject to blasphemy and gossip and criticism. Even Krishna. So to clear his name, Krishna went and took the jewel of Jambavan and gave it back to Satyajit. Then Satyajit felt so much shame because falsely I accused Krishna, so he gave that jewel along with his daughter Satyabhama to Krishna in marriage. That was Krishna's third marriage. So afterwards, just one point is there. So Krishna, I think, gave that jewel back to Satyajit. Krishna showing I am not so much desirous of a silly Kaustubha jewel. Why Golok Vrindavan, everything made of Chintamani? Chintamani can give you whatever you desire, but a Shamantaka jewel can just give you a few kilos of gold. Therefore, the Chintamani stone is millions of times more greater than a, what's it called? Kaustubha jewel? No, what's it called? A Chintamani is millions of times greater than a Shamataka. And Goloka Vrindavan, all the stones and dust on the ground is made of Chintamani. Right? That means Krishna has so many Chintamanis, he just walks them. You could imagine. So why Krishna would be so much desirous of having a foolish Shamataka jewel? No need. So he gave it back to Satyajit. Then Krishna went somewhere. I think he went that time with Balaram to see his devotee in Nepal. So Satyajit had the jewel. So Akrura and another guy, I can't remember his name, they killed Satyajit and took the jewel. And Akrura took that jewel and went to Varanasi. He lived a long time there. Some say because Akrura made the offense of taking Krishna and Balaram out of Braj without the permission of the gopis. For that reason he was cursed and had to spend many years in Varanasi, devoid of the association of the Vaishnavas. Anyway, whatever it may be, Akrura also one of the gurus of Navavida Bhakti, he also an associate. But anyway, some interesting leela is there. So, the guy who killed Satyajit, actually Ugrasen, Akrura was the one who inspired this guy to kill Satyajit. But when the guy killed Satyajit, then Akrura said, "You're crazy now, Krishna's going to finish you." He killed his father-in-law. So that man was very afraid and he ran. He rode a horse that could go at the speed of the mind, and he rode it all night till the horse died. Anyway, Krishna killed him later also. Krishna searched his body and the jewel was not there. Afterward, they could understand Akrura had taken the jewel. So then they kept Satyajit's body in a vat of oil to preserve it, because Krishna was not there in the city of Dwaraka at that time. So they're waiting for the funeral. When he will come back, they will do the funeral. So the point is that Samantaka jewel is the cause of all auspiciousness. But because he refused to give it to Krishna, it became the source of all inauspiciousness and ultimately became the source of his death. So anything which is dear to us, we should also give to Krishna. We should all think if there's something in our life which we have not surrendered to Krishna for the pleasure of Krishna. No. So that means Satyajit against Krishna and criticized Krishna. Therefore Satyajit is foolish. Therefore indication is his daughter will also be a little bit foolish. No? That time when Krishna heard that Satyajit, that Satyabhama is envious of the gopis and jealous of the gopis, that time Krishna became very angry. And what he spoke and what happened, we'll hear the day after tomorrow. So kind of Sanatana Goswami to give us all these leelas. No? One read the whole Bhagavatam, he may or may not understand the difference between Dwaraka Leela and Krishna Leela. May not understand. No? Therefore, this is called the Brhad Bhagavatamrita. Vijayapad Madhusudana Maharaj always describes, as Kali Yuga progresses, we become more and more stupid, more and more fallen. No? Just say you look at Russia 100 years ago. Was there divorce in Russia 100 years ago? Was there abortion? Was there alcoholism? Probably, but not like now. Not like now. No. In Russia 100 years ago, everyone would go to church. Sex outside marriage was unheard of. A girl cannot have boyfriends before marriage. This is 100 years ago. So in 100 years, how, for example, Russia, I'm not just criticizing Russia, Australia, America, look, even China, even 100 years ago, 200 years ago, 300 years ago, society was much more religious, people much more honest, clean, sense-controlled, religious. So as Kali Yuga progresses, then everything becomes more and more degraded. So, therefore, as time progresses, the acharyas make everything more and more simple, more and more simple. Like Vyasadeva, he made Vedanta Sutra 5,000 years ago. Just a few sutras, everyone can understand. But as Kali Yuga progresses, people become more foolish, cannot understand. Therefore, the Goswamis explain everything more simply, like Jiva Goswami. In the Sandarbhas and others, they describe more simply the essence of Vedanta, the essence of the Bhagavatam. But now people who know Sanskrit, who has the samskars to properly understand the writings of the Goswamis, know. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur made more simple. My God, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, so merciful. What was hidden in Sanskrit language and very difficult to understand, the philosophy of the Goswamis, he made in a very simple, very approachable language. Jaivadama, Chaitanya Shikshamrita, Vaishnava, Siddhanta Mala, these books, so easy to read, so clear. But then now, even now, people are so much stupid, cannot understand the words of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So our Gurudev came, made it even more simple, more clear. So the Acharya is not having... So someone thinks, oh, I jump over Bhaktivinoda Thakur, I jump over Narayan Goswami Maharaj, I try to understand Bhaktivinoda Thakur, I try to understand the Goswamis. It's not like that. No? Even in dream, Bhaktivinoda Thakur cannot speak one word different than the sixth Goswami. That's why he's the seventh Goswami, right? So even in dream, Bhaktivinoda Thakur cannot say something separate or different from the six Goswamis. That's why we're a little lucky to come in Parampara, because as we become more and more foolish, then Parampara becomes more and more merciful, more and more open for us. Like the way our Gurudev presented all these things, in the time of Saraswati Thakur, all these things also that Gurudev would speak openly, these things also not spoken clearly. Saraswati Thakur himself had memorized all Vilap Kusmanjali, but he not speaking these things in class. He gave order, don't speak 10th canto. Even he would say like this. But our Gurudev would speak these things because in Kali Yuga we have no brain, no power, no samskar, nothing. So in a very easy way he would, in a very approachable way, digestible way, he would give all these things. Anyway, so day after tomorrow we'll hear more. Krishna's chastising Satyabhama. So what Krishna feel inside, we not heard anything yet, so we will hear the day after tomorrow. Krishna's own words. Okay, so we hope everyone come for Kartik or Purushottam. Save your money, keep those kidneys safe and warm. We don't know what will happen in the world situation, but everyone should try to come, get this high-class association of Braj, make their life perfect. Krishna's mercy is that he kept these Vaishnavas, he kept this Dham of Vrindavan, he kept all these things here for us. So we should also make some effort to come to the holy places, associate with the sadhu. Of course, it will be difficult. Many of us have small children or other responsibilities. But Bhaktivedanta Bhaman Goswami Maharaj would say, when a chance comes to come to the holy places, don't look what I lose. Don't look at that thing, what I lose, what responsibility. No, you just go with your eyes closed. Because the chance to come to the holy places is not given again and again. Right now it's COVID virus. Even if you want to come, you cannot come. No, so, chance to come to Vrindavan, we should not take, what's the word? Lightly. So, also, Maya, her job also to keep us away from the sadhu, keep us away from the Dham. So, Hare Krishna, day after tomorrow we will hear pretty much the end of Brhad Bhagavatamrita. No, if anyone have any suggestion what they want to hear afterwards, then they can speak, they can write something on Facebook. Go prema Nandi. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaura, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaura, Hari Bol.